In a world that glorifies the grind, Selah is a sacred invitation to pause. Every other week, you'll find space here to slow down, listen inward, and remember who you are beneath all the noise. Through guided reflections, soulful conversations, gentle practices, and story-led journeys, Selah, a deep pause, offers rest. Not an escape, not to repress, but as a way to come home. This podcast is for those standing at the edge of change. You know who you are. The seekers, the sensitives, the high-functioning feelers, those ready to honor the quiet and reclaim their own rhythm. So come as you are and exhale. Then exhale again and stay for the stillness. Hello and welcome to Selah, a deep pause. Welcome back. And we're here to have a wonderful conversation.
Another conversation. Hi, everyone.
And we're going to dive into something a little deeper that I don't think we've really dove into the specifics of before. And it's a plant medicine journey. If some of you heard our episode last week, we had Slade as a guest, and Slade is a very dear friend of mine. He serves one of the medicines called Wachuma. If you guys aren't familiar with Wachuma, we call him grandfather. He's a cactus. It's mescaline. It's one of the definitely the elder, more advanced medicines, and it provides you with quite a long journey.
So, Wachuma, what does that mean when you say medicine? Because a lot of people, when you say medicine, be like, I don't think that's the same medicine. And, they're all like, the different drugs, this is different. So,
Yeah.
Can you talk through your definition of medicine and how you feel about that?
Sacred teachers is medicine.
Say more. Sacred teachers.
Sacred teachers. These are plants that have an incredible effect in the way they thin the veil, cut out the noise that distracts us from ourselves, and creates these openings to witness parts of ourselves that we normally can't access or that our body has cleverly stored away so that we just adapt and avoid the pain and become responsive.
I would agree with that. And are there other medicines? Because I know I'm just recently familiar with the word Wachuma and the fact that that's a cactus. I'm not sure I knew that. So what other, and I love the word sacred teachers, what other medicines maybe would some people know about?
Most people hear about ayahuasca. Most people hear about psilocybin, mushrooms, LSD, and they're all incredible sacred teachers and they all work very differently.
I just want to make sure folks have an understanding of what you're talking about because I like what you were saying about thinning the veil and cut out the noise because the noise for me is always this little guy.
Yep.
For those of you who are not on video, I'm pointing at my head. I'm listening, going, what is she doing? What is she talking about? But yeah, the cutting out the noise and allowing your body to step in and be heard is a really good way to put it. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Back to what you were talking about.
I thank you. Thank you. Because I have a tendency, I'm familiar with this. And so I need that so that I can elaborate. So thank you.
Yeah.
So Wachuma for my husband and I is definitely one of our faves. Not because he's easy, because once you commit, you're in it for 12, 14 hours, sometimes longer. So there's no easy eject button. And even though you're in it for a long time, it doesn't mean that it's difficult. It's just you are fully present. Because what he does is he slows time down, unlike any medicine that I know. And when that time slows down, you just drop into so he's known for presence and love. And the reason he's known for presence is because when that time stops, you are fully present with whatever is in your nearby field, including your body and what's being called to rise up or be noticed. Wachuma, I mentioned in the previous episode, it's Tim's favorite, even though it kicked his butt more than any other medicine. It's his favorite because it's created the most change And also because he lingers. I mean, he's still talking to me. I mean, he woke me up last night at 3 a.m., still talking to me. And I don't have any other medicine that does that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Not
Yeah.
something I've tried. Not up for that yet. I'm good. I'm good right there. You just said 12 hours. I'm like, I ain't doing shit for 12 hours. God, no. But that's me and
But
my
you know what?
experience.
You know what? Sometimes that's what it requires
Oh, I'm sure.
to
I'm sure.
sit there and being for something to uncover because, the part of us that is protecting these vulnerable parts of ourselves, can do the run for 3 or 4 hours with some of these other medicines. And then, it's like, "Oh, I made it unscathed."
Yeah, girlfriend over here needs a nap. Straight up
Yeah.
needs a nap. That's all I've
Hmm.
done for the last week. I feel like is nap. Menopause problems. Menopause problems are always there. So you talked to us about Wachuma.
Hmm.
What about let's maybe even back up to I know we've talked in different episodes about journeys, and just so
Hmm.
we can set the stage for what you're going to talk in a little bit later, can you just talk real quick about what you mean by a journey?
A journey. It is a space that is created. It's where there's facilitators around that, they vet you. They make sure that you're medically sound to explore some of these medicines that guide you or support you as you need help. And the reason these containers exist is because emotions, our bodies are these brilliant. I mean, they store everything. Everything is stored in our bodies, and it's all this pure truth. And sometimes when these things are starting to rise up, and we don't know what to do with this little voice or this little feeling or emotion, and the emotions can be all over the place, we need somebody there to just say, "It's okay. I'm right here. It's safe to keep going," so that you are encouraged to keep following the breadcrumbs. Where is that taking you? Where are you feeling it in your body? What is it telling you? Um, what can happen is if you're on your own or if you don't have a journey space is also most importantly a set and setting. You
It's a
know,
safe container.
not only has the vetting been done, but then also energetics have been included. The space has been cleared. There is boundaries, there's guidelines, so that everyone can understand, it's okay. If you're going to be angry, it's okay. Come ask for help. Maybe we can take you to another space. But it's, a lot of us aren't used to one, asking for help. So that's another reason for the journey space. And two, if you haven't navigated these emotions, support.
Yeah.
We're so used to self-soothing,
Well, self-soothing or not emoting at all, right? So
Yeah.
there's typically I think I think how I would explain it in the everyday world, if something were to come up and you start feeling the emotions, for me, my ego is going to come in, shut it down. It's just going to say,
Mhm.
"You're fine. Fuck that. Be done with it." Right? Because that's
Mhm.
just me. Even sometimes if you call a friend, that friend, if they're in that same pattern, is going to tell you the same thing. They're just going to be like, "Well, fuck him. Girl, you don't even need that. Don't even think about it. Like, you're
Yeah.
fine. Everything's going to be fine." So the patterns and the conditioning that we're
Mhm.
used to experiencing, right, wrong, or indifferent, not no judgment against it, but that's what's keep has kept us safe and kept us
Yeah.
moving forward for so long. The difference in a journey space, I find that it's when you're going through something and you're going to go through something, there is usually someone there to sit with you and just be like, I'm not going to do it for you, but I'm going to be available
Mhm.
so that you have this awareness that you're not alone and that we're going to move with you. And that if you need to reach out, there's something there. And that when you're trying to move past you're fine, like, let me move through this, let me see what's on the other side of it, there's
Mhm.
somebody just with you. And that's what I think I like to call that safe container
Mhm.
of if you need to scream it out for whatever reason, because that's what's required at the time, somebody's there to be there and be like, yep, that's okay. Let's do that. If you need
Yep.
to cry, if you need to not cry, like all of those things that I think in the normal world, we go like, nope, not doing that. Nope, not doing that. We're
Mhm.
encouraged to do it
Correct.
and encouraged to say, hey, I don't know what's going on right now. Can you help me?
Correct. And it's the simplest things. Like, even as you're saying that, what reminds me as sometimes as I'm vetting somebody for one of these containers, emotions kick in, right? And they start crying because they're starting to let me see them. And what's really interesting, and I see this a lot, is the tears start coming, and immediately it's like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And it's like, I encourage them and I said, can you let those tears just run down your face? Can can you just feel that and allow that? There's nothing to apologize for.
Mhm.
And it's beautiful because even if they just start doing that, even on that initial just intake call, it's like that opening. And you can see how unsafe their body feels to be seen or express an emotion, which is why they're rapidly wiping their tears off and apologizing every time
Mhm.
a tear runs down their
Yeah,
face.
there's no requirement to keep it together, and
Yeah.
I think that's what it is none of us have it figured out.
Mm.
We're never going to, and we
No.
can walk into this space, and I think I've seen it many times where they just walk in and they're like, "Okay, alright, fuck, cool, let's go." Yeah, and I think
Mhm.
that and then the possibility I always say the containers just opens you up to different possibilities of how
Yeah.
things can be.
Oh, the possibilities.
Yep, the
That's my
possibilities.
favorite part, all the possibilities,
All the possibilities.
which is gonna lead me to what I'm gonna share.
Yeah, so yeah, let's get into it. So I know last weekend you were at a journey with Wachuma, with grandfather. So why don't you walk us through, what happened in your process, whatever it is that you want to share, willing to share, and we'll see where that goes.
Mhm. So I was in a space to support, and usually on Wachuma, this is the only medicine where all of us have a little bit of Wachuma just to be in his frequency, and because it's a long day, and so it kinda helps you stay in that frequency for that long. But then Slade picked up on something on me, and he gave me just a little more. I can't really say that during the journey, I aware of what realization was gonna come other than my right arm. He kept giving me these visions of my right arm not being of this world, and it was very gold laced, and it was showing me portals it opens, and it was doing all kinds of stuff, but it's just this all day long, and it just felt really good, and I was like, "Okay," and people would say, "How's your journey?" And I was like, "This arm." I go, "It's a little heavier than the other one. It does all these things." And it's like Wachuma just keeps sharing this stuff. And it was just sad all day. So I wasn't so deep that I couldn't just sit even with other people as they were moving through processes. But what I really have to share is what came after. And this is what I love about Wachuma is
And when
that
you
you
say after, like after the journey.
after the journey.
Oh, okay, okay. So you had
After.
went the journey and you were supporting, and it was a
Mhm.
lovely time, and weird shit's coming out your right arm.
Weird stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's telling me
Like
all these
wiggling
things.
over here,
Yes.
everything's fine.
I mean, it's just really
Just so you don't
showing.
just jump completely out. Wait,
Yeah,
she's
I
talking
mean,
about a
that's
weird right
true.
arm, and off she went. Back to the right arm, lady. What are you
Which
talking about?
which interesting. Okay, so what's interesting is so when I work with people and when I work with people's nervous system, my right arm is the one that does all the work. It moves all the energy, it connects to the nervous system. So here, there's more information there. So it's
Yes.
actually so it's actually making sure that I had a bigger awareness of what it does and how it feels. And so I could see all the mechanics of my arm, and it was really fascinating. So it was just interesting to just watch that.
So it really
Uh,
just amplified that feeling for
yes,
you when you were in the space. Still
correct.
supporting, still kind of just doing your thing, but from an energetic for a lot of folks that are listening are
Yeah.
probably into energetics. So in energetics or energy weaving, I know that's big for
Mhm.
me.
Mhm.
Those kinds of things, these it's in some cases energy moves through us in many different ways.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so all I see is this big arm of
It felt like the Iron Man. I remember when somebody came up to me and I was like, I feel like I have this Iron Man's, except that it's all gold. It was
I
just,
believe he does actually have one where he's probably all gold. I would not doubt that. I would not doubt that Tony Stark has an
uh,
all gold Iron Man.
yeah. So people would see me sit there and I was like, it's just, it was interesting.
So were you questioning it, or were you just like, "This is weird"?
This was like it was a grounding into all the mechanics of my arm and what it wields, and, like, showing me the portals that it opens and how it works through the nervous system. And it was actually really interesting. I had never had that shown to me. But it makes sense. I mean, you see me. I mean, if somebody's in the space, even if I'm not on medicine, the second they're activated, my hand goes nuts and starts working on people. So it was a deepening into that and an understanding. And so, I left with that, and I mean, we had a beautiful weekend. And I thought that was it. So I was still busy for a couple of days. And then once everyone left and then I was left by myself, then the grandfather whispers started. And it started with this vision that just kept changing. And this vision was like 5, 6, 7, 8 times a day. I am a little girl, Cindian, crisscross, applesauce on dirt. And then a grandfather image, a very large man, bearded, very muscular too. It was like would come up behind me and put his hands like right here under my armpits and he'd stand me up and he goes, "Stand up, Laura." And I was like, okay. And every time the vision came, I got a few more optics. And so then all of a sudden, he'd come in and I like the second, third time I noticed, I'm like, wow, this is like a really like strong masculine figure, coming in. And so this time, as the visions progressed, then I started noticing that it was my right hand that was drawing on the ground playing. So as I'm sitting on the ground, my right hand's drawing images and all kinds of stuff on the ground. And again, stands me up. Stand up, Laura. And I don't know, I had told you that after that journey, I have been on fire. I've had all this energy. I was telling people, it's like, it feels like I'm integrating Career Girl into the medicine part of me. And I was like, this is really fascinating because I
Mhm.
haven't had access to that energy since 2019. I had completely deprioritized that energy to
And
focus on
when you talk about career girl, this was the person before you started getting into this work.
all this work, the deeper level of this work,
Mhm.
right? Which was in 2019. I was very masculine. I was a business woman. I was an achiever and I did not stop. I did not know how to stop. It was a way that I had adapted uh, to survive. And so I had not had that level of motivation in business. I mean, you've seen me. I mean, I'm like, oh, I'm going to trust, it'll be great. I've been in that.
It's great for other people. What do you wanna do for a podcast? I don't know, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So that I've been in that since 2019. So feeling all this, and even Tim's like, where is all this energy coming from? Like, I don't know. But now I'm starting to realize it was connected to this vision. And so then the vision started getting more and more detailed and stronger and stronger. And it was just on repeat. But as it was in repeat, it was giving me more optics. And then yesterday happened. I always have integration groups during these circles. And so I went in and started sharing about what was the vision I was having. And as I started sharing about that, all of a sudden I asked, I said, how old is she? And it was like instantly it just came in, she's 8. And I was like, okay, all right. And I didn't think anything about it. And then I continued talking and I said, so I still don't know why I'm 8 in this vision, but I'm sure it'll come. And literally as soon as I said that, boom, I remembered there was a journey that I had had many years ago. And I still don't remember all the details of the journey, but I remember my 8-year-old in that journey. And it's the only one where my 8-year-old has come in. I'm in my mother's living room, and this version of me is having a conversation with my 8-year-old. And she's angry, and she's hurt, and she's scared. And she's standing in the living room with her fingers on the light switch where you turn the
Mhm.
light on and off. And as she's talking to me, that she just can't do this anymore, that she doesn't want to da 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 da. And all of a sudden, she just turns the light off. And when she turned the light off, the room went pitch black. I couldn't see anything. And she told me, yes, I'm the one that shut it all off, Laura. And that memory just came back yesterday. When she turned off that light, I remember in that journey years ago, I just sobbed. Like I could feel the pain. I didn't understand what she was talking about. I didn't understand why she turned off the light. I couldn't put those things together. But then yesterday, when she did that, or when that memory came back, I'm like, "Oh, she's the one that dimmed my light. She's the one that shut off the gifts." Because, and I don't know, I don't think I've shared this before here, is when I was 8, I was a pretty hyper kid, pretty sensitive. And my mom just didn't know what to do with me because I was not like my siblings. They were more calm. They weren't as hyper as me. They didn't push the limits like I did.
Well, your siblings were older too, right?
Yes. But even when they were younger, they still
Yeah, but
were
still, like,
very.
there was, if I remember what you've told me about your family, there was a couple of them, right? They can play off their
Mhm.
own energy, but you were
That's true.
young and the
I
only
came
one,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah,
So
I
there's
came 10
really,
years later.
there's no
Mhm.
one to bounce that energy off of when there aren't any other small children.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, guys, I was so hyper. I mean, I would climb on the roof and run from the roof into the trees. I
That
get it.
tracks. That tracks. Tracks.
And so because she did not know what to do, I remember when I was 8, she brought these men from church. I think we were Jehovah Witness during that time. And during that time, they literally did a exorcism. They literally
Mhm.
they sat me down and they were casting demons out of me to change me. So all of a sudden, all of that made sense. I mean, so as soon as that realization came in, I mean, I bawled so much yesterday. I mean, my body was remembering so much. I cried, and I mean, I cried so much yesterday. It was good tears. It was like, oh my God, now I know why she turned off the light.
Well, if the
You
light is out,
know,
they can't find her.
yeah. Well, and it's safe. It's creating, it's adapting so that I could be safe.
Yeah,
All
that's
these
what kept her
things.
safe. They can't, if the light is out, they can't find me. They can't hurt
Yeah.
me. They can't do the exorcism. Nobody can find me, and
Yes.
I'll be safe in the dark.
Correct.
Mhm.
And this is what our adaptive childs do when there is overwhelm in our system. They adapt. So when I realized that, I was so good to finally have that answer because there's some journeys where you get, that little piece
Mm.
and then you don't
I
know.
don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't
You're
never
like,
experience. I'm like, bitch, it's every one for me. What are we talking about here? Why is this happening again and again and again? Yes, complete. I do believe that's also because I think in many instances, sometimes if you're given it all at once,
Mhm.
it cares all your answers.
It's
You're
not
going to
fun.
miss half of it. So it's almost feels like this
Mhm.
piecemeal of here's a little bit
Mhm.
because I also feel our bodies, our minds also have to adapt. That integration that you
Yeah,
talked about, we have
our
to
nervous
take
system.
what's given to us if we want
Mhm.
to, if we choose, because not everybody
Mhm.
chooses to.
Yeah.
We take those little pieces and go, okay, where does that fit back in? It's almost like somebody took our puzzle and shook
Yeah.
up the box and threw out some pieces and was just like, I don't know, we'll throw this other puzzle in here. It was like, here you go,
Yep.
good luck to you. And so as you're
Correct.
going through this work of what am I ready for right now?
Yeah.
What am I ready for right now? Okay. What am I going to do with that? Give me
Yeah.
some time to do something with that. And that's why, I mean, what you're talking about was probably what, 6 years ago? In reality, 3 years ago, you could have been like, I'm not doing this anymore. Fuck this. I'm going to go back to being career girl.
Mhm.
We all have these choices of the paths that we decide to go on because it's all just a
Yep.
decision of what path we're doing. But staying the course, continuing to do the work and continuing to integrate and take in this little piece. And sometimes really big pieces. Sometimes you do get smacked
Mhm.
upside the head with some really big shit and you're like, I don't know what to do with it. But these
Mhm.
little pieces that come out, that's weird. Okay, gonna
Yeah.
file that away.
Yep.
That's weird. And almost like when you're ready for it
Mhm.
and maybe have the right support, i.e., Slade or whatever it is,
Mhm.
because this wasn't a typical journey for you. You were there in support. You weren't
Yeah.
there for that.
Mm-mm. I was not there. And that's really sometimes when it sneaks in. And
It
that's
does.
why even when we're in support, we have to be willing to allow things to land, to move through us because we're constantly processing and we're in the energy of so much transformation for everyone. And as we get those little pieces, our nervous system needs time to adapt.
Well, not
And I
only does it
know,
need time, it's not like you're also the world outside of any journey space is the world.
Yes. There we
It
go.
is this shit show of which we live in. I, again, will
Mhm.
speak for myself. I feel it's a bit of a shit show. But it is. I mean, life comes at you, shit happens. You know, things don't just stop. You just walk in,
Yeah.
oh, everything is wonderful all of the time. No, it's not like that. So that's why integration, like, how do I take what I learned, incorporate it into my world? How do I change in my world? Because
Mhm.
a lot of people walk out of a journey and go, oh shit, I created this. This is the box I
Mhm.
created that I live in. And how do I
Mhm.
integrate it? And how do I move? And how do I change it? And how does it like morph? It's almost like this
Mhm.
weird morphing. And sometimes you go back because sometimes we got to go back to go forward. Right.
Mhm.
But
Yep.
I find it so fascinating how it continues to go if you allow it
Yeah.
and not chase it, because that's a
There
big
you
one
go.
too.
Sometimes, yeah,
It's not
you're
pushing it.
chasing it. So you're getting in the way. You're getting in
Mhm.
your own way.
Yeah.
And, you know, when I had that big process in March where I cleared a lot of my lineage trauma,
Uh-huh.
and I've been saying, I'm in a new body. I'm like, oh my God, I'm in a new body. I don't know what this new body can do. And here we are almost 2 months later, and it's showing me like it's starting to complete the story of
Oh, you're so
the
cute.
8-year old.
Complete the story.
Well, part of a
Add
big
another
chunk.
chapter.
Yeah, that complete a chapter
There
of
you
the
go.
story, right?
There we
There
go.
you go. There you go. That's a
There
good
there's
point. Good point.
no
Not the story.
stopping it.
No, but a chapter was completed.
Mhm.
Thank you for the reframe. That's perfect. A very important chapter.
Uh-huh.
I had no idea. And even when realizing what my body can do is I'm completing this chapter now, all of a sudden my body is going like, okay, we can start bringing hyper Laura back. We can start bringing creation like
Well, you can
energy
bring
back.
Career Girl back. It's just that she can do it without the guardrails,
Well,
right?
without hiding, well, that
Yeah.
hiding who she really is. Um, there is a more real part of me that's now pulling back. It's not necessarily all career growth. It's that energy that I had the ability to create a lot, and I had the energy for it. And I know you would say I'd have the energy, but I really not that creation type energy to the degree I'm feeling it this week.
Well,
This week I'm on
you
fire.
also honor it, right? So
That's true.
if those folks that are familiar with human design, you're a manifesting generator, I'm a generator. So generators and man gens, we are lit up when we're doing something that lights us up. And we
Mhm.
have unlimited energy if we're doing things that light us up. If we're doing things that we don't like, or if we're doing things that we're like, it was not a hell yes, it was like, yeah, I guess I'll go do this. But your body was
Mhm.
like, I don't want to do it.
Mhm.
And we've continued to ram it home. And we did it for years, years and years of being outside. Yes, we're creating, we're doing the things, we're getting it done. I'm doing a
Mhm.
mom thing and a boss thing, we're getting it done and doing all the things. And at no time did we stop to say, do I really want to do this? Because there's a whole
Mhm.
other bunch of shit on that. Like,
Yep.
because well, I have
Yeah.
to. I need the money. I have a family. And at no time, probably we go for
Mm.
me, I could go back to when I was probably 14 years old. And after that, it was like, what do I need to do? Not what do I want to do? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? Not it's just stop becoming what do I want to do?
Yeah.
And now you've integrated enough of that version of you to come in and say, okay, what are we doing that I want to do?
Mhm.
And I'm going to bring in that version of me that had that energy,
Mhm.
because now she's like, "Ooh, I get to play now, and I get to play with what I want.
Yeah.
Get to do what I want. And if I don't want to do it, I can stop doing it."
Yeah. And way
And I
more
think
capacity.
that's a big one because yeah,
Mhm.
you can be just like, "You know what? I'm tired right now. Okay, I'm gonna stop." Before, career girl would have said, "I'm tired right now," and that voice in her head would said, "Too bad. You need to get it fucking done."
Mhm. Yep.
"Oh, I would like to go spend time with my kids right now. They're doing something. Can't. This needs to be done first because this is what's going to get
Mhm.
us whatever it is we wanted back then." And now you're able to listen and allow those things. They're like, no, my grandkids are here. I'm going to go play with them because this
Mhm.
can wait now. And that
Yeah.
is a whole nother thing. So I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. I've even noticed I've had more open conversations that I'm like, I'll have that conversation. I look at myself and I'm like, oh my God, did I just say that out loud? I'm like, oh shit. And it didn't scare me and I didn't hesitate. And it wasn't taken in a bad way because it wasn't, expressed with fear.
No, even if it is taken in a bad way, you have no control over that anyway.
Yeah. And so it's just been, I it's been a surprise.
Mhm.
It's been a very welcome surprise. And so right now, what I'm feeling, like I was on a call earlier and somebody said, "How you doing?" And I said, "I'm great." And then and then I hesitated and I said, "Actually, I'm tender." And he's like, and you go, "You okay?" And I said, "Actually, I am, but I'm just tender." I'm in this space of I just realized something really big. And so I'm moving through all these emotions and so much energy is moving through my system. That's why it woke me up at 3 in the morning. And I had all this energy in my forehead and behind my neck and into little in my shoulders. And I had to breathe into it and allow it to keep moving. I couldn't ignore it. 'Cause my body is in this space, in this yummy space when you have these realizations of feeling all the feels, the grief that for all these years, I mean, 8 to 53, how long it's been shut down, you know? So there's the grieving of that. There is the seeing my 8-year-old. And again, when I talk about some of these things, it's not that we forget the memories. We forget what our nervous system felt like when we adapted.
Yeah, we've completely moved away from that connection.
Correct.
And I would
Correct.
say 90% of the people on the planet
Yes. Yeah.
really
Yeah.
have no idea. Like, if you ask somebody, what do you want? Most people are going to hesitate.
Yeah.
It's just not like deep down, what do you want? Like, what do you want
Yeah.
right now? I don't,
Yeah.
what do you mean? Like, where? And
Yeah.
that's really interesting because if you go back, and I think we talk about this many times, that if you go back to your child,
Mhm.
any child for the most part, we'll even go up to, age 11, depending on the kid, what do you want? They're going to tell you what they want. They're going to have a
Yeah.
litany of things they want. They know
Yeah.
all the things they want. And now with everything that we've layered on top of ourselves to continue to, as you say, dim your light, to just muffle the noise and to not be connected with who we are and what we
Mhm.
like, we
Yeah.
can't answer it.
No. And because we actually really need to reconnect to our nervous
Mhm.
system, we need to reconnect to our body. And in this work, that's really what, I'm doing, what I'm encouraging people to do is allow yourself to go back into relationship with our bodies, with our nervous systems, with our guidance, because all the truth is there. It's not outside of us. It's all here. Even in a journey space, that's really why you even want somebody that's with supporting that is guiding you back to you, guiding you back to you and not what they think.
Mhm.
uh, because
Well,
the
it's very
truth is,
very easy to do that in the journey
yeah.
space. You just said it's not outside of yourself, and many times folks go into these spaces
Hmm.
in a, okay, make it better,
Yeah.
make me better, fix
Can you
me.
tell me what you see?
Mhm.
Yeah.
What should I
Versus
do?
like, yes,
What do you want to do?
correct.
I don't know. But let's sit with that for a minute
Hmm. Correct.
and see if anything comes up and get
Yeah.
quiet and listen. And it's not easy to do.
No, I mean, it's because it's like, I mean, I just got the image of like electricity, and it's a nervous system, and it's our electricity. And so it's misfiring because there's been no connection. So it's going to take a few times for it to finally go and reconnect.
Mhm.
And you
Create a
got
new
this
pathway.
one, create a new, yeah, there you go. Create a new pathway to a chapter.
And then it's going to test you,
Yes.
right? So you
Mhm.
create that new pathway. Like the old ones, they're pretty solidified. They're like a 1960s old ass house. They're going to keep on chugging. It might catch fire every now and again, but they're going to keep on
Mhm.
going. They're going to work. But the new ones, they're like, we're not sure if that's working yet. And things are going to keep coming on for you to be able to trust it and go,
Mhm.
"Oh, okay, yeah, okay, this does work
Yeah.
for me." Or, as you're talking about in your creation space of, I'm
Mm.
really tired now. I should keep going. No, I'm going to take a break here.
Yep.
Oh, but this is something we said we were gonna do. Yeah, it's okay. I'll be alright.
Mhm.
It will get done. I trust
Yeah.
that this new version of me will figure out moving forward how to get it done, and it'll all happen
Yeah.
in a way that it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
But it will
Exactly.
test you. It will test those new pathways until they just keep getting stronger and stronger. And instead, and then as you're
Hmm.
with your electricity metaphor, instead of picking the old circuit, it starts traveling, always traveling the new
Mm,
circuit.
yes, exactly. And then it's also really important that that's why when you have these experiences, that you're having these conversations. Because had I not been verbally processing and telling, oh, I'm having this vision and so forth, literally that all came in as I was speaking.
Mhm.
And it was like, oh my God, oh my God. And can we trust those things that are coming in versus having this guy go like, does that doesn't make sense? Or and trust because actually your body's telling you the truth. Because as soon as those thoughts came in to fill in the blanks, I mean, I instantly teared up. My whole body felt the emotion and I was like, oh my God. I was remembering not the memories, but what my 8-year-old experienced and why she is the one. Well, even though there's so many other versions of me that have experienced other things that adapted in other ways, she's the one that really did most of the dimming of the light and the dimming of my loudness and who I really was, my gifts. Um, Sometimes I keep saying that my visions that come in, some getting them, but they almost seem to have there's a barrier that I really have to work towards to see them. And this week they've been getting clearer. So because she came through to finally be seen and what she did, my nervous system is integrating and I'm not in a rush for
Huh.
my visions to get stronger, but I'm noticing because even as grandfather kept coming in with that same vision, with every vision, he gave me more details and he gave me more details and he gave me more details. And then now all of a sudden, they don't seem to be as, there's a little more clarity with them.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh,
Well, that's
wow.
interesting because you also talked about you say your 8-year-old turned off the light, so there's more light to be able to see what you need to see.
Yeah. Yeah. So all the tenderness is joy and grief. And oh my God, it's so many emotions. I want to do this, see her. 'Cause I wrote down a couple of things. So about it, the way I wrote down some notes on how I was interpreting, like the 8-year-old was the part that learned to dim. The light switch was control over expression. The darkness was protection. So
Mhm.
shut me down. Grandfather image that keeps coming in to stand me up is stabilizing authority, says stand up, helping me take back my authority and sees a stabilizing energy that says it's safe, stand up. Um, and the actual act of standing up is starting to re-enter life with a completely different capacity.
So did you have a vision of actually standing up at
Hmm.
any point?
Yeah. Yeah, because he would stand me up and then I'm standing. And that's literally where it would stop. And to this point, it has still stopped there. Because what got clearer was how he looked, his appearance, me playing and writing symbols on the floor, realizing that I was 8, um, the dirt. It just, the image just got getting clearer and clearer and clearer. And it was really interesting because it was very vague. And then it was like and at first, when they came several times, I'm like, "Okay, how many times am I gonna get this vision?" It I didn't realize it was changing every time, giving me a little more detail, a little more detail, a little more detail. And then it included me having to ask, "Oh, well, how old am I?" It was instant 8. Like, "Oh, okay. Well, I don't know how the 8-year-old's
Mhm.
connected." The second I said that, it was like, boom, I was
Yeah.
taken back to that journey. I was like, "Oh my god." It was like so asking, staying in that curiosity is such a big part because if I didn't stay curious with this, it would have just been a journey that I never fully integrated. My body would have a little bit, But there's this what do we do with this awareness? What do we do with these things that are coming in? And can we stay in conversation?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of hints.
Well, I think also other people are further away. Like when you're
Mm.
talking to yourself, when you're reflecting on yourself, it's literally we have this tendency to put the mirror like right here. It's almost I used to be a
Mhm.
Mary Kay rep, and we'd always go to people's houses and we would do makeovers, and that was the thing. And hopefully they'd buy some products. And every time they came with these little mirrors and everyone would do their makeup, and they always had the makeup right, the mirror right here. Every
What?
damn time I literally had to, and in every, it was literally almost part of the marketing to tell people to hold the mirror further away from, like, I'll frame it this way, frame it back here, because that's where people see you, right? We see
Yeah.
ourselves right here.
Mm.
You do. Anytime you're in the mirror, you're like, what's going on there? And especially, girl, especially if you're over 50 and you got a magnifying mirror, and then you're like, my God, what is happening? People in reality see us from much farther away, and
Mhm.
being much further away here to here, there's so much more in that scope to
Mm.
be able to see, and then being able to reflect of, oh, well, what about this? And you go, well, shit, okay.
Mhm.
But that's why it is super important, and we've talked about it multiple times, is having someone to reflect over, or even if you're just
Yeah.
re-saying it again, sometimes, it's just like if you watch a movie again, or you listen to a
Yeah.
song again, or you read a story again,
Mhm.
you hear different things drop
Mhm.
in, and they drop in at different periods of your time because of where you are and what you've done.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and the
Mhm.
reflections are so important.
They are. And it's quite fun. And some people don't. Some
Mhm.
people who reflect on you with a bunch of crap, you can
Projection, not reflection.
You can
That's
ignore them.
projection.
Yeah, you can ignore that shit. That's usually when it come back. That sounds like a you thing,
Yeah.
not a me.
So, what these experiences do is really show us
Mhm,
how our child adapted to stay safe,
mhm,
to learn to navigate so many things. And so there's just so much gold
mhm,
when we get to have these experiences. And what I love about it, what's really telling is the felt experience because it's not just the memories. It's like with these medicines, even the aftermath. Like sometimes people will call me and they're like, "Why am I crying so much?" It's like because your body is
mhm,
acknowledging and it's going into full acceptance. So part of the emotion, allow it to move through
mhm,
because we've been holding it together.
mhm.
I'm fine for
Fine.
so long.
Fucked up, insecure, neurotic, and exhausted. Fine.
That's literally what it means, people.
It
Be
literally
careful
is.
when you
It
use
is.
it.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah, and to your point, we've gone for many of us have gone for 30 to 40 years of full clinch, full let me hold it together. And it feels really uncomfortable when
Mhm.
it goes, okay, she's crying right now. All right, let's get in there and figure out what's going on. It's like your body almost knows, and it's like, all right, we're going to do it again. We're going to bring it on again. And okay,
Mhm.
it's safe now. Okay, I can feel this. Okay, it's safe now. I can feel this now. It's safe now. I can feel this now.
Yeah.
And it just keeps going. And I can speak for myself. I experienced that quite a bit of, well, this was a great commercial. Why am I crying at this commercial? Because of whatever,
Yeah.
after 20 years of never crying.
Yeah.
And then going, okay, we'll let that happen again. It is one of
Yeah.
my favorite things.
Oh, it's incredible. It's beautiful to feel again. Even when we have to feel all of it. We can't be selective about what we feel. But there is so much just of an exhale
Mhm,
and capacity that happens as we learn to feel, and not only just feel, but be seen
mhm.
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I am beyond excited with what I'm integrating with this. Yeah, surprised. Wasn't expecting it. And I just so many things make sense. Had a lot of vultures showing up at the house right before. Like, I mean, a lot of vultures. I mean, I'm always around. They're always around, but I mean, I had 11 of them stomping in my roof, which is actually funny because we had 11 participants. So I was like,
That's interesting.
yep. And just around the trees. And it was like, okay, guys, you guys are really coming around to like, you guys have a lot of stuff to pick up that's going to be shed. That's rotting. It's time to go. It was really interesting.
Very cool.
But that's what I had to share. So I think I feel pretty complete. Any other questions you have for me?
I don't really have any other questions. I think that was a great share, and I appreciate you being vulnerable to share what occurred for you. Because it's important to be able to show folks how you can move through a process, and they don't all have to be hard.
No. So I have got a closing, kind of an integration invitation with what we talked about to close us out.
Okay, let's do it.
Alrighty. So take a slow breath in and a gentle exhale out. And just for a moment, can you allow yourself to soften right where you are? If it feels safe, bring your awareness inward and begin to sense a younger version of you. Not one that you need to search for, just the one that naturally wants to be seen right now. Can you notice where that version of you is? What they're doing? Or how they feel? And there's no need to change anything. Can you just witness what first shows up? And as you meet that version of you, you might just gently ask, what felt too much for you back then? What did you need that you didn't have? And then just listen. Don't rush it. Just see the first thing that comes up. Now, from where you are today, with everything that you have lived and everything that you have become, let that younger part of you feel your current presence. Not to pull them forward, but to simply let them know you're not alone anymore. I see you. I understand why you did what you did. And if it feels true, you might offer them these words. You don't have to carry this the same way anymore. We can move at a pace that feels safe. And when you're ready, I'm here with you. And maybe, just maybe, you sense a little shift. Not something dramatic, just a little softening, just a little willingness. And take another slow breath in, and as you exhale, begin to come back into your body, into your space, into this moment. And as you return, just hold this knowing that nothing within you was ever broken. It was brilliantly protecting you. And what was once quiet can gently and safely find its way back. So when you're ready, open your eyes. Oh-ho. And it's a wrap.
That's it.
Thank you for joining us.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you for pausing with me. May what you heard settle gently in your body and stir something true within you. If this episode spoke to your soul, please subscribe and share with someone else who might need this pause as well. Until next time, come as you are, take a deep breath, and stay for the stillness.